It all comes down to one decision to change our life. That's it.
What all comes down to one decision?
Any change. So I spent years working with drug addicts, alcoholics, people with psychiatric disorders, and years. And I own a treatment center. And why do certain people change and get well, and why do certain people not get well? And really what it comes down to is making one decision, which is followed up by a bunch of other decisions. But everything is kind of one decision away. Now it's what decisions matter, what decisions not matter. There's 35,000 decisions we make a day. So the big one is figuring out who you are and being yourself. You know, it's really identifying who someone is at their core, and starting from that place. It can be really confusing for all of us as we get to unpack and know ourselves a bit more.
Who we are is confusing?
Who we are. Well, I think everyone's different. So I think it's always a discovery process, but I think we have to define moments in our life. You know, that's kind of a helpful framework, is to figure out what are the times in our life when we felt completely connected and in the moment. When did we feel like we were rooted in what I would call a spiritual experience? That wasn't outcome-based, that wasn't based upon making a bunch of money, but was based about being in this beautiful moment and going, gosh, I'm exactly where I need to be and this is who I am. So I find it's helpful for people to first figure out what are those moments. And that starts to create a framework for someone realizing, okay, those moments, I can kind of describe who I am. Any situation or problem in our life today, we have a perception of the problem. And sometimes that perception has been circling around since we were a little kid. It just all kind of goes back. But every day we have a hint of looking at it through a certain lens, because our childhood makes up how we feel and look through the world today, unless we go back and we go, okay, what do I need to change or shift, because that's not authentically who I am. And so that perception that isn't working for us, we often go, God, I hate it when I think that way, or I wish I wouldn't have said that, or that doesn't feel like me. I think the first step is awareness. And why are we doing what we're doing, or why we think the way we're thinking, and what's working for us and what's not working for us. You know, because people will often say, oh, I'm so unhappy with, you know, my job. But really what they may be unhappy with is their spiritual development. But they haven't thought of that. You know, until you ask the question, people often don't think about it. They just focus on the problem. Well, we all get windows to change. There's always opportunities.
Which is the moment of willingness.
The moment of willingness and the moment of trusting the universe. Like, people talk about rock bottom. I mean, that's just a moment. You know, like, you could always go lower in your rock bottom. You could lose a limb. You could, like, it's just, to me, a rock bottom is a moment of being spiritually deflated, defeated, essentially hating your life. But it can always go a bit lower. But there's always a window. I feel like the universe, from my experience, creates a window if you do want to change. If you do want help, a window is created. Now, it may not be the window you want, and it may not be the fabulous straits that you want to open up, but there'll be a window, because all of a sudden your mindset is believing there's a window, and it believes that you can change. And I just think there's always that opening.